whale.
You don't need to be a whale. You don't need RNG. You can be the average citizen and pull all the Genshin characters you want with just a silly dance, a Guilty Gear button combination, and a few ritual sacrifices. We're talking about the wacky world of Genshin summoning rituals. All can be yours with the power of superstition. And you know why? Because I pulled off the longest ritual in Genshin history to get both Ayaka and Venti. But more on that later. And spoiler alert, whether you believe it or not, you've been an active participant in rituals in almost every game you've played. But why do people believe these rituals? Well, that's what we're here to find out. And by the end, you might just realize that not getting the character you were hoping for may not be as bad as you think. But first, we need to address... What are these rituals? Okay, look, there are two types of players in Genshin. Those who have luck, and those who... Well, you get the idea. And for those who are the luckless, that eerie feeling of desperation will start to wash over you. Now you only have two paths, the path of devotion and the path of whale. Path of whale! Step 1, grab your financial access card. Step 2, type in the secret number combination listed on the device. Step 3, summon. Summon so much that you forget your problems and worries. Step 4, ignore all bank alerts telling you you're broke. Those are scammers and they're just jealous of your C6 Farina. Okay, so let's say you're not like Zhongli, who can spawn infinite money from this method. Instead, what if you're like Zhongli, who is broke because he forgot that he could spawn infinite money, and now can't even do that anymore?
Then, did you at least set some private funds aside for yourself?
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common-sense idea. It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time.
Now you're left with a path of devotion. You praise the RNG gods to help you ritual summon.
What's happening?
Honestly, not sure. Hey, buddy, you doing okay? Oh, my Archon! I see you're desperate enough to follow the path of devotion.
Hold my hand, please. This wind could blow me away.
Okay. Before we get to whatever this is, I'll explain what we mean by a ritual summon. If you've played Genshin for a while, chances are you've heard of these summoning rituals. You know, you go online and see a step-by-step guide on how to sacrifice or Chi-Chi to pull your favorite character whose summoning circle you've made, stuff like that. And Genshin Impact has a whole bunch of rituals to perform, so I'm sure you can find the right one for you. Sacrificing characters seems to be a really popular one, but if that doesn't suit your fancy, then we got going to the first location where you first met the character you're wishing for, fighting every boss with a matching element to the character you want, changing the time of day and pulling in the middle of an elemental burst animation, summoning on a specific quote-unquote lucky spot you swear by, watching those lucky dance videos for your character, and even gathering the leaders of Mondstadt and Liyue and switching between them to use their skills on top of the Jade Chamber on a stormy night and sacrificing them in hopes that the Raiden Shogun of Inazuma will grace you with her presence because you've been such a loyal follower and you deserve this for all the hours you put into the game, so the least they can do is give you the Electro Archon to salve it! Hey yo, that whale looking kinda good right now.
I got what I wanted. It didn't make it better.
I was desperate, okay? Alright, my ritual didn't work, so I wailed a little. But, hold on a second. So many people swear by rituals, and you already do too. Think about it. Not just gacha games, but for all games, even in life, everyone has rituals to the point where you probably don't even notice anymore.
And if you take a moment to stay with us on this, then you'll start to understand why people believe in rituals. Rituals in gacha games are simple. You perform certain tasks to help you increase your chances of pulling a character. But what about other games? Take fighting games for instance. Have you ever played a game like, let's say Smash Bros, and you had a lucky skin you'd always pick? Or perhaps a lucky stage you always wanted to fight on? That right there is a ritual. And it doesn't stop there. Let's look at Pokemon Red and Blue. Have you ever been at school and heard rumors about a secret hidden Pokemon known as the missing number? And how it can only be found by playing the game at midnight after completing the Pokédex? And what about Minecraft? Playing on peaceful mode, alone, building a base, with the rumors and superstitions of Herobrine haunting your mind. And as you turn a corner, you swear you saw him peeking at you in the shadows. And you read online about a ritual that if you stack blocks in a certain way and wait for a lightning strike, then he will appear. Or what about Call of Duty Zombies? Like those rumors about knifing the mystery box a specific number of times to hopefully get a better chance at a wonder weapon. And now, to be fair, COD Zombies actually does have some wacky Easter eggs that do grant new weapons and abilities. But the point is that at some point, we've all believed in these video game superstitions and rituals. Even outside of video games, you have sports rituals, morning routine rituals, even theater kids have special rituals they do before performance. We should know. Anyways, we've all believed in and done rituals at some point in our lives, but why? Is it because they work? Do they make us feel good? Or are we just hopping on the bandwagon? All of these could have some truth to them, but when it comes to pulling in Genshin Impact, the answer is simple. It's that eerie feeling of desperation. You see, Genshin, like other gacha games, has this really cool concept called FOMO, or fear of missing out, which is precisely why the game is filled with a bunch of limited events that are packed with so much lore and gameplay, and when the time is up, they are gone, locked away forever. At least we hope not. Which is why we made a video here talking about why and how they will come back.
Oh, by the way, I'm Devi.
And I'm Darx, and we're identical twins who deduce and discuss games we adore.
If you enjoy, consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below.
It really helps out the channel. So, back to rituals. FOMO also applies to character banners, which basically means that if you miss pulling your character, well, tough cookies. They might not come back for over a year. I still don't have Shinho. It's that desperate feeling that makes us act, that makes us believe. We want these characters so badly, and we'll try anything to get them to come home. Whatever it is, it has to work. It just has to. And today is the last day to summon your character. So in your desperate state, you turn to an online forum for a so-called guaranteed ritual.
Quit holding out and get to the damn point.
You don't have to trust my words. But do you have any better options? Your choice. The customer is always right. After all.
You'll pay if I find out this is a lie. Fucking Joker.
Now, usually if you're unlucky, like my brother Devi here,
Hey.
you'll be desperate enough to try these rituals. Seriously, Devi's luck sucks compared to mine. Here's like a little reenactment of our luck to give an example.
Went forward in time to view alternate futures, to see all the possible outcomes of the coming conflict.
How many pulls will I need to get Venti?
14,605,000.
How many pulls will I need to get Venti?
One.
But yeah, basically Devi's luck isn't as good as mine. Oh, speaking of which, this video was actually inspired thanks to a friend of ours who also has better luck than Devi.
Yes, he does. Every single friend that I played a gacha game with has better luck than me. In everything.
Okay, so Devi is a tad unlucky when pulling, but it's because of his bad luck that he's pulled off some crazy specific huge ritual that, for some reason, actually worked. So without further ado, here is the wackiest Genshin ritual that somehow worked.
One, two, three.
Ah,
4,
you're right.
2,
Keep chanting, little ones.
3.
I shall prepare our
4.
guests for the ritual. Does it puzzle you why all your friends have better luck than you in every gacha game you've ever played? Is Zhongli also your favorite character? Or Bennett also your first level 10 friend? If yes, then you are like me, broken with no luck. Perhaps these two are why I am cursed. Although, even prior to Genshin, the gods of Dokkan weren't very kind to me. But for Genshin, I have long since developed a tradition, the ritual to end all rituals. If you are ready, then I ask you, do you recognize them, the little ones? Of course you do, but while most would be torn to see her take the place of whatever 5-star they were aiming for, what if I told you that it's Chi-Chi, the symbol of bad summon luck in Genshin itself, that is responsible for pulling off the biggest Genshin summoning ritual in all of Tevat. One that got me both Ayaka and Venti. Pay close attention, and soon... what is it?
I forgot my umbrella again.
Oh, here you go, sweetie. And soon all will be...
Pretty. Ooh.
Hey, stop! Oh, wait! It all began at the pond in Liyue! Well, actually, it all began in Mondstadt, with my first 5-star I ever pulled.
The Adepti urged me to bind my soul with red ropes to keep my homicidal nature at bay.
What? But when Ganyu's banner came around, I had to obtain Shenhe's sister, and so a thought began to form. When I pulled for Shenhe, I was Barbara, a Hydro character. Wouldn't it be funny if I pulled for Ganyu while Shenhe was, I don't know, in water? Since the two were Liyue residents, I found this little pond at the center of Liyue and took a plunge, submerging myself as much as I could. And... And so my first ritual began. My lucky spot,
In the mortal world at times like these, is it not customary to use an umbrella?
Copy that.
What? No, wait! This magical pond would get me every character I wanted, but only after I jumped in and became a Lotad. And then...
Now, come on, do something amusing for me.
So, back into the pond I went. For both Yaimiko and the return of Raiden, I paid money, and I had none left for Venti's rerun. One of my favorite characters that I skipped in favor of Ayaka, which Venti somehow remembered. More on that later. I was aware of the memes surrounding this Chi-Chi, but Chi-Chi is the key. Using the pond, Shenhe, a Cryo 5-star, got me Ganyu, a Cryo 5-star, who got me Chi-Chi, a Cryo 5-star. Ice to ice to ice. All summoned in a cold place. As I'd also freeze the pond using their elemental skills or bursts as part of the ritual. This could only mean that by using Chi-Chi, Ayaka had to be next. And thus the rules of the ritual have been ascertained. In the pond you go, Chi-Chi!
I should have stayed indoors today.
But wait, what if I'm wrong? I thought to myself, what if the ritual required something more?
I just have to stand here, right? Ganyu.
I need a nap.
I'd been to Inazuma at the time, and I was too impatient. Ayaka could leave at any minute. What do I do?
Let's go somewhere cooler.
And so it began. You see, after summoning Chi-Chi, I, as I often do, spent at least half of my PS5 storage to take a bunch of cute videos. And before the photoshoot was over...
Let's go somewhere cooler.
Chi-Chi said those words. And yes, those are just her standard idle dialogue, but I had no clue. And so I took it as a sign. And then I remembered. Behind the Church of Favonius lies a cemetery.
a place where only cold, frigid winds blow. It even has a neat circle, like my pond. And Chi-Chi's a zombie, so I figured maybe that's where she means to venture.
At the church, before summoning at the circle, I climbed to the top to listen to the winds of Mondstadt, letting Venti guide me. And let's be honest here, I must be crazy, confused, and high on copium to think that Venti is actually helping me, to think that this whole ritual is anything more than a coincidence. I wouldn't believe it myself, honestly, but if that were the case, I'd never tell you any of this. No, this ritual holds merit, alright, because there's still one thing to this day that I can't explain. Something that no amount of RNG or whaling could even do. Somehow, I found a way to summon Ayaka without even summoning for Ayaka, which led me to summoning Ayaka. I'm serious. Stay with us now. Atop the church, I waited, and when the wind blew, it blew towards the direction of the circle, and so I felt it was time. It didn't work. But once again, Chi-Chi said,
Let's go somewhere cooler.
And so I went to Dragonspine, thinking it the coldest spot in Tibet. And after finding another place with high winds,
Transfiguration! Born of ice and frost, all hail! You can't run!
I failed again. I was about to call it quits, but with Rosaria and Diona, 2 cryo, I felt like I was getting a little closer. And then I remembered something. A little animoculus, one in view of the symbol of Mondstadt's hero, and one that I had been saving for my final offering towards the Anima Archon statue to reach level 10. If I truly believed Venti was assisting me, it felt only natural to offer this as a gift. I grabbed it early, brought it to the statue atop Dragonspine, and as I used my only Animoculus to worship the statue, I asked the Anima Archon, please bring Ayaka into my world, and yes, I said this out loud, I get real invested, okay? And then, in an instant, it actually worked. I went to places colder and colder and, thinking it's what Venti wanted, listened to the wind. But the ritual wasn't over just yet.
I still needed Venti after all. And when Venti had his rerun yet again, during the heartfelt Mondstadt event of Ballads and Brews, I knew that since Venti got me Ayaka, it would have to be Ayaka that got me Venti. But what I didn't know was that this entire ritual would teach us an important lesson. Once more, I made my way up to Dragonspine to travel to the same statue that brought Ayaka into my world. For this final step, I felt that I should only use Ayaka, but as I climbed the mountain, I felt worried about not pulling Venti. Beforehand, when pulling for every character I wanted, I had this feeling of desperation. This was the first gacha game I played where I actually cared about the characters, and so missing out on them felt worrisome. But over time, this feeling of concern became uncomfy. As I climbed the mountain, I thought to myself, will this ritual work, or am I just wasting time? If I just had money or better luck, I wouldn't be doing any of this. But then I thought, you know what, who cares? It doesn't need to work, because even if this whole thing amounted to a dull blade, it would have been worth it, because I'm having fun. Climbing Dragonspine with an underleveled Ayaka was challenging, and it had been a while since I just walked around for a while, and so I really enjoyed it. Somewhere along the way, the pressure disappeared. Finally, at the statue, using Ayaka, I made my summon. After finally pulling Venti, I felt it appropriate to gather the rest of the Animoculus needed to reach level 10 on Venti's statue using the Anima Archon himself. The last Animoculus I needed ended up being on this far-off island that's hidden on the map. There's a lot of lore here, I'm sure, and many even connect this lore to Venti, which felt very fitting given the situation. There's some text that Paimon doesn't quite understand, but we think it means that a legend is made only after a small story has been spread around through word of mouth, changing and evolving along the way into something greater, into a legend. In other words, what makes a story great is the journey it takes. I bring this up because that's the lesson we learned up on Dragonspine. We stopped worrying about whether or not we'd pull the character and just enjoyed ourselves, enjoyed the journey rather than the result. And it felt way more fun. Truthfully, this ritual, all rituals, we don't do them because we think they'll work. We do rituals because we think they'll be fun. And that's it. We don't have to do them. We could just push the button and accept the result. We could cheer for our favorite sports team without any special chant or attire. We can just as easily play any fighting game without using a specific skin. But it's more fun to just wonder and try a bunch of wacky things to make things happen, rather than focus solely on the outcome. For gacha games, we'll always rather want to pull the character we wish for, but whether you pull them or not, the excitement of seeing their reveal trailer, discussing with your friends and peers online about their kit and personality, and the time spent anticipating and envisioning them on your team, playing their story and falling in love with them, that's what makes pulling any character worth it. The journey you take before you even hit summon. We don't have every character, and neither do you. And that's okay, because even now that I have Ayaka and Venti, to this day I still don't even play them much at all, because it doesn't change the fact that I still experienced their story and everything about them. In other words, I realized that what I really wanted was to connect with them. And you can do that, whether you pull them or not. So if you're worried about pulling your favorite character, don't be. You don't have any money but have terrible RNG? Then just try some wacky stuff and see if it works. If it doesn't, at least you have fun. And if it does, then make a video out of it, or an art piece, or just tell your friends, tell us in the comments below, and we'd be delighted to read your story. Your wackiest rituals. This whole ritual could have been just a big old coincidence, but it was one that taught us not to worry about results and to just have fun. Genshin, like all games, can teach some real important lessons if you let them. But with Genshin, we've had so many times where the game coincidentally helped us out with what we were going through in life at the time, that at this point, it really does feel like this game is speaking to us. For some reason, it always gets the timing just right. Have fun, focus on the journey rather than the result. Breathe in for a moment and, like my ritual, stay cool and just let the wind lead. And yes, I realize I'm using results from Sonic the Hedgehog, and yet I say not to focus on the results, but that's pretty funny, so I'm keeping that in.